Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks that I am really pumped about. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at the I Love You But I'm Busy Saucony Jazz 9 by J-Tips. And real quick, I wanted to show y'all what I have on feet. This is another J-Tips Saucony collab. This one is on the Saucony Matrix, and I love the way that he takes silhouettes that I've never owned before and just kind of makes them into his own creation. I really like this pair. They're extremely comfortable and they're way different than everything else that I have in the collection. So I just wanted to give these a little bit of screen time to show y'all what they look like on feet. All right, what is happening, everybody? It is great to be back here with y'all. It is a beautiful day. I think this is probably the most beautiful day of the year so far. I am so glad warm weather is coming. I think this pair will be perfect for the warm weather. It's full of energy, it's full of life, as we've come to expect from J-Tips collaborations with Saucony. So I'm really excited about this one. On top of that, the whole inspiration and the theme behind this shoe is something that I really connect with, and we'll get into more of that as we go along with this review. But to start off, even this box looks pretty cool. It's definitely got that J-Tips flair on it. We've got some hot pink on the lid where it says J-Tips Saucony, and then we've got his flowers all over the outside of this box. And on the bottom, we can see that inspiration that I was referring to. I love you, but I'm busy. At first, when I heard that, I was pretty confused about what that meaning was, but again, I will elaborate on that as we go. I actually went for these on the EQL raffle on J-Tips site. I think it was on Savior Worldwide, but I struck out on that. I think I entered a couple EQL raffles for these, and I struck out on all of those, but fortunately, whenever they were released on the Saucony website, I was able to secure my pair. I think they were $150 US. I might be wrong, but that's what I think it was. Anyhow, I got my pair and I am very glad to have them. The tag reads Grid Jazz 9. The colors are balloon blue. In just about every Saucony silhouette that I own, I go true to size because it just seems like it has always worked out perfectly. Some of them do feel snug because I have wide feet, but they're all very, very comfortable, and it's a good kind of snug. Like, they're just secure down on my fat feet. But anyhow, let's get to the good stuff. All right, and here it is, the J-Tips Jazz 9.
These things pop.
I am very well aware that this isn't the kind of shoe that everybody's going to look at and say, oh, I need those, I want to rock those. But for me personally, I like having things in my collection that just have a lot of bright color. I like having pairs that really grab attention. I have been a huge fan of just about everything that J-Tips has done with Saucony up to this point. I own several of his Saucony collabs, and I've got another pair sitting here that I'll show y'all. That one is on a Omni 9. This is a Jazz 9, which again, I have never owned this silhouette, but it is a retro runner style sneaker, and you can see, just like a lot of other shoes like that, it's got a base of a very breathable mesh, but then it's got all these really bright and colorful overlays. One thing that surprised me about this pair is a lot of these overlays are a genuine material, and they feel like they're really high quality. So like, all that blue is a nice short-haired suede, but then the pink overlays and the gray overlays there up front on the toe box, it's all a very nice feeling leather. The other collabs that I have from J-Tips all seem like they have mainly synthetic materials, but I was really glad to see that on this pair we got a lot of really nice feeling leather and suede. Another thing that you notice immediately is just how colorful these are, And like I already said, J-Tip's designs are just full of life and full of energy, and I love that. I love if even my shoes can be a little pick-me-up in the day. I'll take it where I can, and whenever I see these shoes, I'm just in a good mood. And to go along with that, on the heel you can see "I love you but I'm busy," and like I said before, that did kind of confuse me at first whenever I heard the title of these, but then I later heard him explain that it's basically inspired by the internal dilemma of balancing his work life and his family life. In a little video, it showed some kids. I'm guessing it's his kids, but I think the girl pretty much asked him if he could play or if they could go to the park or something like that, and he had some work to do. He had to go to work. And I just love that theme, and I love that he chose something like that to be the inspiration behind these shoes, simply because I work a lot. I have 3 kids and a wife, but I work a lot. In this day and age, it's not enough to just get by, to just skate by. So you really do have to grind. And in order for me to be able to provide my family and my kids and my wife with everything that I want them to be able to have, I have to work my tail off. So a lot of times that means that my son might be saying, "Hey Dad, can we play Zelda? Hey Dad, want to play Mario Party?" And I have to walk by him and say, "I'm sorry buddy, I got some work to do," and I have to go into my office and get some work done. It's weird because I work from home, so when he's at home and I walk by him, I think he's thinking, "All right, Dad's home, you know, let's hang out, let's play." But many a times with my 6-year-old son, I have to tell him, "Sorry buddy, Daddy's gotta work, I can't right now." But that's just the reality of life. I don't have money like that. If I did have that, all I would do is hang out with my family, because I'm telling you, I cherish nothing more than spending quality time with my loved ones. You don't want to be an absent parent, but at the same time, you want to make sure that your family's taken care of. And I love that these shoes are a physical representation of that inner dialogue, if you will. J-Tip's designs are so good at really just being a physical representation of his own personal humanity, and I love that sort of thing. Like I said, I've never owned this silhouette before. It's not a silhouette that I'm really familiar with. I have had Sauconys for years now, and I can't even remember my first pair, so it's not like I'm unfamiliar with Saucony as a brand. But for this silhouette, I've never owned it, and I like that he's shining some light on the lesser known silhouettes, especially like the Matrix. I never even knew that existed until he did his collab on them. But I really do think he does an amazing job at just adding a human aspect to his designs, and I can't get enough of it. While this is a silhouette that has already existed, I don't know if there's been any releases of this shoe that have looked anything like this. Like a lot of times with retro basketball shoes or even retro runners, they might switch up a color of an overlay but keep color blocking the same and that sort of thing. But this just feels fresh and it feels brand new, so I'm definitely a huge fan of it. This is the Grid Omni 9, which J-Tip's collabed with Saucony on, and again you can see that they just explode with bright colors and life. And again, this is just something that I'm really into. I know a lot of people would see these and think that it's too loud and too much and they wouldn't even consider wearing them, but I think these things are beautiful. And as I said before, his designs just put me in a good mood, and I'll take as much of that as I can get. Starting with the outsole here, it looks like we've got a lot of triangles here underneath of the forefoot in a hard black rubber, and then we also have that black rubber wrapping back to the heel. There is some hard plastic pieces here towards the midfoot. I'm guessing that's just for torsion support and that sort of thing, to keep your foot from twisting too much, but that's in a bright yellow color. And then underneath the heel we can see some of that pink foam exposed, and that's the same color that we'll see on the midsole and the upper as well. I'm going to sit this left shoe down so I don't have this little keychain flapping all around, but this is the J-Tip's flower, and I think on one side you have the Saucony emblem, which is Saucony Creek, And then on the other side in the middle, you have that globe that J-Tips uses a lot as well. As we come up to the midsole, we can see that it's just this nice bright pink color, and we've got a lot of
Really cool lines on it.
It's definitely very interesting looking. Here at the midfoot, you can see that hard plastic wrap up, and it is viewable from the side there, but it's in that bright yellow color. On the heel of the midsole, we can see this little accent, and it says grid. I think that's a nice little touch. My favorite part about these shoes is definitely this crazy looking upper. Like I said, we've got all kinds of overlays of really nice material, and I love these bright colors. Here on the toe box area up towards the front of the shoe, we can see that we've got a lot of nice blue suede overlays, and it's a nice thick cut. It's a very soft material. It feels like it's premium, and I just love everything about it. Just below that, we have some really soft leather, and that is in a gray color. Again, it's a thick cut and it feels very premium. I really like what they chose to use on this pair. Then as we go back the shoe, we can see we've also got overlays of a pink leather, and that is just as nice as the gray leather in the front. And then towards the heel, as we wrap around here to the back, again, we have more overlays of that blue suede, and we've also got some overlays of a black suede as well. Down here at the base of the heel, that is a reflective material, and I think that that is a synthetic material, but for the most part, most of these overlays seem like it's a really genuine material, and I'm a huge fan of that. I also really like all the little hits of reflective that we see scattered through this upper. We have it here towards the back of the toe box, and then some of these accents that we have on this blue suede, as well as on the Saucony emblem, and also on this black suede. That's all reflective as well, and I just like those little pops that make them jump out even more. Not that this shoe needs any help popping, but I'll take it where I can get it. For the base of this upper, we just have a breathable mesh. On the toe box, it's this nice bright yellow color, and on the side panels underneath that Saucony Creek emblem, we've got a nice orange breathable mesh. For our tongue, it looks like that might be either a really light blue breathable mesh or even like a light gray, and we also see more of that color up here by the heel tab as well. I love this touch on the heel of the shoes where we see in the red stitching, "I love you but I'm busy." That sits on top of that yellow mesh. These shoes came with black laces already in them, but they also threw in a spare of bright white laces. For the time being, I'm just going to keep the black laces in there that came with it. Our sock liner is black, and right on the inside of the collar, it says "Made by J-Tips." Our insoles are a bright pink color, and on one shoe it says "Coming Soon," and on the left shoe we have that J-Tips globe emblem in a bright green color. But that was a pretty quick look at the J-Tips Jazz 9. I really love this pair, and like I said, I love that we got a real leather and some real suede on this upper. The colors are just beautiful to me. I love the inspiration behind these shoes and just the meaning behind this design. I really got to tip my hat to J-Tips again, and I will definitely be staying tuned to see what more he has in store with Saucony. I'm just a huge fan of his designs. I know they're not for everybody, but as far as I'm concerned, I absolutely love them. I plan on rocking these a good bit this summer. Let me know what you all think about these. Let me know if this is a pair that you'd wear or not. Really, it won't bother me either way, because like I said, I'm very happy with this pair. I do have a lot of other pairs that are inbound right now. I have the Action Bronson 990 V6s that I'm waiting to get delivered. I was able to hit hit the SB Jordan 4s the other day on the sneakers app, so I will have a review of them as well. And there's just a handful of other pairs that I know I have coming my way too. I'm also going to grab those Rookie of the Year Jordan 1 lows whenever they release. I appreciate you all tremendously, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a very happy Easter with your family. Let me know what you think of this pair, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.